Get out of here right now. The white security guard's voice echoed across the marble floor of the luxury mall. His flashlight beam hit two small faces, two homeless black kids, no older than 8, their clothes torn, their hands shaking. One of them, Deshaun, clutched a worn black wallet against his chest. "We didn't steal it, sir," he whispered. "We just found it outside and wanted to give it back." The guard sneered. "Yeah, right. Kids like you don't return wallets, you take them." Every eye in the mall turned. Two frightened children, standing under the cold white lights, accused before they could even speak. If it's already made your blood boil, hit like and subscribe right now, because stories like this are still happening and the world needs to hear them. Deshaun looked at his twin brother Malik, who was trying to hide behind him. "Please," he said softly. "There's money inside. We didn't touch anything." The guard laughed, calling for backup on his radio. "Security code 2 at the north entrance. 2 minors, possible theft." Deshaun slowly bent down, placed the wallet on the polished floor, and whispered, "Let's just go, Malik." They turned to leave, small hands clasped together, when a deep voice from the second-floor balcony interrupted. "Wait." The guard froze. The voice belonged to Ethan Whitmore, the billionaire owner of the jewelry store overlooking the hall. His tailored suit gleamed under the lights as he descended the stairs. "Is that your wallet, sir?" the guard asked quickly. Ethan picked it up, checking the contents, cards, IDs, and cash all intact. Inside was a folded note written in childish handwriting. "We found this on the ground. Our grandma said returning lost things brings good luck. Deshaun Malik." Ethan looked at the boys, skin scraped, eyes tired, shoes falling apart. "You too found this and brought it here?" "Yes, sir," Deshaun whispered. "We didn't know whose it was." The billionaire's throat tightened. For years, he had walked past beggars without a second thought. But in that moment, watching those trembling hands return what wasn't theirs, something cracked inside him. The guard cleared his throat. "Sir, these kids..." Ethan cut him off sharply. "These kids just taught me more about honesty than half the people in this building." The crowd went silent. The twins stared at him, confused yet hopeful, as he crouched down to their level and said softly, "Where do you live, boys?" Ethan Whitmore couldn't get those two boys out of his mind. He sat in his glass-walled office above the same mall, city lights flickering below like restless stars. The black wallet lay open on his desk. Between credit cards and cash, that small, folded paper stared at him again, the childish note written in pencil. "We found this on the ground. Our grandma said returning lost things brings good luck. Deshaun Malik." Ethan read it for the 10th time. Each letter trembled with innocence, yet carried more integrity than the world he lived in. He remembered their eyes, frightened but proud. They didn't beg, they didn't steal, they just wanted to do the right thing. He looked around his office, the gold pen on the table, the framed photos from charity events he barely attended, the plaques praising his philanthropy. Suddenly, every award fell hollow. He had spent decades building wealth, not realizing how poor he was in humanity. His assistant, Grace, knocked softly. "Sir, the press wants a statement about your new diamond collection." "Not now," he said quietly. "Find me information about 2 kids named Deshaun and Malik. They were at the mall today." Grace hesitated. "Homeless boys?" "Yes," he said firmly. "I want to know where they sleep, what shelter they belong to, everything." Grace left, and Ethan leaned back, staring at the city. He had built empires, but never truly looked down to see the people suffering below. For the first time in years, guilt pressed on his chest like weight he couldn't lift. An hour later, Grace returned. "Sir, they aren't in any shelter record. Social services say they've been missing from the system for months." Ethan frowned. "Missing?" "Yes. Apparently, their grandmother passed away recently. Since then, they've been living under an old bridge near the east side." Ethan stood up abruptly, heart pounding. "They're 8, he whispered. 8-year-old kids living under a bridge in the same city I own half of?" Grace nodded silently. He stared out the window again, at the city he thought he understood. The world below looked smaller now, colder. He realized he couldn't just thank those boys. He had to find them. He picked up the wallet, folded the note carefully, and slipped it into his jacket. For once, he said to himself, I'll use my power for something that actually matters. By morning, Ethan Whitmore was already parked near the old bridge on the east side of the city. The fog hung low over cracked concrete pillars, and a faint sound of traffic rumbled overhead. He stepped out of his car, his expensive shoes sinking slightly into the wet dirt. Under the bridge, two small figures huddled together beneath a flattened cardboard box. Deshaun and Malik. They were eating from a paper bag, splitting a half sandwich in silence. Ethan's voice trembled when he spoke. Boys, they froze, recognizing him instantly. Deshaun stepped forward protectively. We didn't do anything wrong, sir. We were just hungry. I know, Ethan said softly. You didn't steal anything. You did the right thing, and I'm here because of that. He crouched down, ignoring the dirt, ignoring the smell of oil and rain. When was the last time you ate a proper meal? Deshaun hesitated. Maybe 2 days ago. Sometimes the bakery guy gives us leftovers. Ethan swallowed hard. Where's your family? Malik looked down, whispering. Grandma's gone. She used to take care of us. What about your parents? Ethan asked gently. They died when we were babies, Deshaun replied. Grandma said Mom was really nice, and Dad was funny, but we don't remember them. Ethan nodded slowly, feeling the ache in his chest grow heavier. Do you have anywhere safe to go? Malik shook his head. The shelter wanted to send us to different homes. We ran away. We promised we'd never be apart. Those words hit him like a punch. Never be apart. He had spent half his life alone, buried in business, chasing something that didn't exist, while two children were fighting the world just to stay together. That evening, Ethan called the social services office directly. This is Ethan Whitmore. I need to talk about two children, Deshaun and Malik. A woman's voice on the other end sounded bureaucratic and cold. Yes, we know them. They're hard to place. Most families don't want siblings together, especially older kids. It's more efficient to separate them. Ethan's tone darkened. Efficient? It's standard procedure, sir. He ended the call mid-sentence, staring at his reflection in the window. His empire was built on structure and control. But this system, this cold machine, was breaking lives in the name of efficiency. He clenched his jaw. Not this time. If this happened right in front of you, what would you do? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And if you want justice as much as I do, hit subscribe. That evening, the rain poured harder than usual. But Ethan didn't care. He stood again beneath that same bridge, holding 2 paper bags filled with food. The sound of thunder rolled above as headlights flashed through the mist. Deshaun, Malik, he called. A small face peeked from behind a cardboard wall. It's you again, Deshaun whispered. Ethan smiled gently. I brought dinner. Hot food, real food. Malik hesitated, still clutching his brother's sleeve. Why would you help us? Ethan knelt down, his voice low and sincere. Because you reminded me what goodness looks like. You could have kept that wallet, but you didn't. That means something. They sat together under the bridge, the billionaire in a $1,000 coat, sharing sandwiches with 2 homeless kids. It was a scene that didn't belong to money or class, only to humanity. As Malik munched quietly, he looked up and asked, Do you have a family, sir? Ethan froze for a moment. I had a brother once, he said softly. We got separated when we were young. I never found him again. Deshaun glanced at him. That's why you don't want him to split us, huh? Ethan nodded. Exactly. For the first time in decades, he felt warmth in a conversation that wasn't about business or profit. He saw his own childhood pain reflected in their eyes, the loneliness, the fear of being forgotten. When they finished eating, Ethan said, You're coming with me tonight. I have a warm house, clean beds, and no one will separate you. I promise. Deshaun hesitated. What if the people from the shelter come? Then they'll talk to me, Ethan replied firmly. You have my word. Later, inside his mansion, the boys stared in disbelief. The chandeliers, the grand staircase, the endless space. Malik whispered, It's like a castle. Ethan chuckled softly. Then tonight, you too are kings. As they drifted to sleep on the soft couch, wrapped in blankets, Ethan stood in the doorway, watching them breathe peacefully. For the first time in his life, his home didn't feel empty. He whispered to himself, maybe family isn't about blood. Maybe it's about who you protect when no one else will. Morning sunlight spilled into the grand living room. Deshaun and Malik were still asleep on the sofa, their small hands clutching the blanket as if afraid it might disappear. For the first time, Ethan Whitmore felt peace in his house, a kind of silence that wasn't empty but full. Then came the knock, 3 sharp bangs at the door. He opened it to find a middle-aged woman with thick glasses, holding a clipboard, flanked by 2 uniformed officers. "Mr. Whitmore?" she asked briskly. "I'm Ms. Morrison from Child Protective Services. You're harboring minors without authorization. I need to see them immediately." Ethan's calm voice barely hid his irritation. "They're safe, they're fed, and they're under my care. What's the problem?" "The problem," she replied coldly, "is that people like you think money lets you bend the rules. Those children belong to the state until proper placement is arranged." "Placement," Ethan repeated. "You mean separation?" Her lips tightened. Twin siblings are hard to place together. It's policy to split them. It increases adoption rates. Ethan's jaw clenched. "You call that policy? I call it cruelty." She stepped forward, peering inside. "Sir, step aside. I have legal authority to remove them." Ethan stood firmly in the doorway. "You'll not take them anywhere. Not today." The police officers exchanged uncertain glances. They knew the man in front of them wasn't some ordinary citizen. Ethan's voice carried both wealth and conviction. "You failed them once," he said. "You won't fail them again." Ms. Morrison's tone turned venomous. "Mr. Whitmore, I suggest you cooperate before this becomes a legal issue." Ethan smiled faintly. "Good. Let's make it one." Behind him, Deshaun's small voice broke the tension. "Sir, are they here to take us?" Ethan turned and knelt beside him. "No one's taking you anywhere." Malik hugged his brother tightly, eyes wide with fear. Morrison pointed at them with her pen. "You see? Already attached. That's exactly why this can't work. Rich people play heroes until it's inconvenient." Ethan's gaze hardened. "Lady, you don't know me." He pulled out his phone, dialing without breaking eye contact. "Richard Blackstone. Get here. Now." Ms. Morrison blinked. "Who?" "My lawyer," Ethan replied, his voice like steel. "And the last person you want to meet if you're standing on the wrong side of justice." Hours later, the mansion's tension had thickened like a storm cloud. Richard Blackstone, Ethan's lifelong friend and one of the best family lawyers in the country, arrived with a briefcase and calm authority. He looked around the living room, where the boys sat nervously eating breakfast. "So these are the heroes I've been hearing about," he said kindly. "You two made my friend cry, and trust me, that's a rare achievement." Malik smiled shyly. Deshaun just nodded, unsure if this new man was friend or foe. Ethan took Richard aside. "She's trying to take them. Claims it's policy." Richard smirked. "Policy collapses under evidence and influence. I'll handle her." But just as they began preparing documents, Ethan's phone rang. "Mr. Whitmore?" A man's voice said. "This is Dr. Michael Santos from General Hospital. You left your card asking for records about Deshaun and Malik. We found something you need to see in person." An hour later, Ethan stood in the hospital records office, heart pounding. The doctor handed him an old file, its pages yellowed. These were from their grandmother, Rosa Daniels. She listed the boys' parents on medical forms. Ethan scanned the lines slowly and froze. Father, Daniel Whitmore, age 20 mother. Keisha Daniels, age 19. For a moment, the world blurred. His brother, the one he'd lost in childhood. Daniel Whitmore, the same brother he had searched for 30 years. He whispered, "Are you sure this is correct?" "DR," Santos nodded. "Completely. The DNA records matched the boys' through paternal lineage." Ethan's knees nearly gave out. "So, these children are your nephews," the doctor finished softly. He opened a small box handed to him by the nurse. Inside were photos. His younger brother Daniel, smiling, holding 2 newborn babies, and a young black woman beside him. On the back of one photo, in faded ink, was written, "For my brother Ethan, if we ever meet again, your family is waiting." Ethan pressed the picture to his chest, tears welling up. All those years of guilt, of loneliness, of searching, and fate had brought his family back in the most unexpected way. He whispered, voice breaking, "Daniel, I found them. I found our family." Outside, thunder rumbled again, but this time it sounded like the sky itself was clapping for justice finally coming full circle. The next morning, the mansion gates filled with cars. 2 police cruisers, a black government van, and Ms. Morrison's sharp voice cutting through the air. "Mr. Whitmore, your time is up. You're holding state wards illegally. Hand them over or face arrest." Ethan opened the door calmly, wearing a dark robe, no fear in his eyes. Behind him stood Richard Blackstone, briefcase in hand, smirking like a man who already knew he'd won. "You're early," Richard said. "Perfect. Saves us the trouble of chasing you." Morrison glared. "You're obstructing a lawful removal order." Richard flipped open the briefcase and held out a document. "Correction was lawful. As of 1 hour ago, that order is void." Judge Hamilton signed an emergency custody ruling recognizing Mr. Whitmore as the boy's biological uncle. Her expression froze. "That's impossible." "DNA doesn't lie," Richard said, handing her the report. Daniel Whitmore, the boy's late father, was Ethan's brother, which means these kids don't belong to state. They belong to family. Morrison scanned the papers, her face draining of color. Richard leaned in, voice low and cutting. "And one more thing. We have evidence you violated multiple sibling preservation laws by attempting to separate twins. Internal memos, your own recorded words. Shall I play them?" Her lips trembled. "You can't." "Oh, we can," he interrupted. "And we will, in court and in the press." Ethan stepped forward, his voice deep and steady. "You tried to take them from each other. You failed them, just like you failed countless others. Not anymore." From the staircase, Deshawn and Malik appeared. Clean clothes, combed hair, faces glowing with quiet pride. Deshawn looked at Morrison. "Mr. Ethan's our family now. We're not scared anymore." Malik held his brother's hand tightly. "We just wanted to stay together." The officers exchanged glances. Even they couldn't hide their sympathy. Richard folded his arms. "Unless you'd like to be the face of $1 million negligence lawsuit, I'd suggest you leave peacefully." Morrison's arrogance finally cracked. She turned away silently, muttering, "This isn't over." Ethan replied softly, "For you, maybe. For them, it's just beginning." Weeks later, the story made national headlines. Billionaire reunites with orphan nephews, forces child welfare reform. Policies changed. Sibling separation was banned. Ms. Morrison was dismissed. One quiet Sunday afternoon, Ethan watched the twins playing soccer in the yard, their laughter echoing across the garden. He touched a photo of his brother Daniel and whispered, "You be proud, little brother. I kept our promise." Deshawn ran up breathless. "Uncle Ethan, we made cookies. Come try them." Ethan smiled, feeling the kind of wealth no fortune could buy. "I'm coming, champ." The sun dipped behind the mansion, and for the first time in decades, Ethan Whitmore finally fell whole. If you believe this should never happen again, share this now. And to my USA, UK, and Canadian viewers, your voice is power. Use it.